Well, hello everybody and welcome back to a winter wonderland here at A Stable Life. Today is going to be a very unique day. We are starting off with a fresh snowfall. Look at it, it's pretty. And an angry sky and a lot of wind. Today's gonna be cold. Today's gonna be very cold. We are starting off with temperatures at a 32 degrees, which is nice. Real feel currently of 26. And we're basically expecting a consistent wind today. Gusts up to 40 to 50 miles an hour. Looking out there, you can see, oh yeah, we've got some fun weather blowing in. We got to be feeding horses today, but we're also working on the hay barn. No worries, we're not doing anything up high today. That would be not smart on a windy day like today. We got our load of lumber delivered already. This is one of two deliveries that is actually going to be coming to our stable for the barn. This is part for the trusses, and this is also for our header over on the other side for the garage door. So that's exciting. We're going to be loading that up and getting that on down to the build site today. Probably going to be needing to use my cabless tractor to get that down, and then we'll come back and we'll take the truck down. That way I have an area where I can get out of the wind if I'm too cold, and I have the heat blowing on me to keep me warm. I'm going to be testing all of my heavier winter equipment today because of the bad weather. For early December, this is kind of unheard of for me. So it's going to be an interesting and unique day. And you guys get to stay on your cozy couch, your cozy chair. I hope you stay warm because it's going to be a cold one, guys. Let's get started. Hey, Becky. Good morning.
Good morning.
On a positive note, down here in the barn, no wind, which is good. If there was wind inside the barn, we'd have problems. We have all the storm doors closed and all the windows are up. So every opening, there's plexiglass that's put up as a way to prevent the wind from coming in. Our big doors over here are closed. Our door up there needs to be replaced, but is closed. And then we have two doors on the long side of the barn that are closed, and then the big field door, main door, closed. Scheduled today, I am supposed to be able to get a number of boards cut for truss work today, continuing on the back of Tuesday. We'll see what we got done though. I'm not going to be down there and trying to kill myself just so that I could get a couple boards cut. If I can't do it today, I can't do it today because of the wind. There's only tomorrow and even Saturday. So our goal for today, the thing that we are going to accomplish, is getting that load of lumber down to the build site. That's the main thing we're doing. Everything else, we'll see what happens. All right, let's get the horses in and see if they're shivering or if they're all right. That's it, good boy. Yeah, hey there, buddy. And Honey's hiding down in her barn. Morning, Champ. Morning, Rebel. Morning, Ava. We have a couple asleep at the wheel down there. Come on, boys! They're coming. All right, big field time. Middle field's looking good. That's all of them. If you see a horse coming in and they actually have snow on their back, it's generally considered a good sign. It means the blanket's very good at insulating the horse. So if the snow's all melted off of them, not a good insulating blanket. If it's frozen and on their backs, you'll put your hand underneath and it'll be like you were putting your hand into an oven. It's warm under there. It's amazing. Good news is all of our water bowls are not frozen, so our tank heaters are working. Tractor's fired up, we're letting that warm up. We're gonna grab two bales from up on top of the hill and put them down by the hay barn for Mom for tomorrow, so that she doesn't have to drive in the freezing cold all the way up on top of the hill to go get them. We're also gonna start the four-wheeler up and let that warm up because we need to head down to the hay barn site. Our solar charger fencer is, well, struggling to keep a good charge through the fence, and we wanna make sure that that's fully charged up, so we're gonna hook a battery charger up to it and get a generator running it in the meantime. That way that is fully charged. How's things going over here, big guy? Huh? What about you? Going well? You guys all finished eating already? The buckets look clean. Good job, Weather. What about you, Rebel? Oh, he's ready to go. Diego? Ready to go. Oh my goodness, they're all ready to be turned out already. Oh, not Coco, he's still eating. Right, Coco? All right, now before we go down to the pasture, you know what? I'm gonna go dressed exactly as I am right now and see just how cold it is. I kind of am a little warm right now, so when you're in the barn working and there's no wind on you and you're wearing that heavy winter clothes, you get warm. Let's see how it is. So far, honestly, not that bad at all. If it wasn't even windy today, it would be a gorgeous day. Look at the snow! Look at the snow! It's so pretty. All our covers are staying on, that's good. Yeah, it ain't bad down here. That's a good sign. Yep, this is exactly what I expected right here. Turn that off. See how it's already at red? Turn it on. It automatically shuts off once it feels like it hasn't gotten enough power. So we're going to disconnect the fence from the solar charger. First off, this is our ground, and then this is what goes to the fence. It's really that simple. Obviously, this is a much easier design. If you're doing like a big fence that's going for a long ways, because as you can see, this fence charger says it can go 25 miles. The one that powers our entire fence can go 115 miles. And for that one, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put in 3 grounding rods, really big, long, complete rods of copper down into the ground. You're going to want to connect your ground, and then you're going to connect a grounding rod to another, and you're going to put 3 of them in line. And you're going to have them 10 feet apart from each other, going out across. That way you have multiple places of good ground, because your fence will only travel as far and be as effective as your ground is. Otherwise, you'll end up having a fence where an animal will touch it and it'll be like a little, it won't be that crazy. They'll be like, oh, this is nothing, and then they'll break right through it. Obviously, you don't want to hurt the animal, but you do need to make sure that they understand, hey, you touch me, it's not a pleasant experience. That way you're not leaning on it and, worse, getting out. I do love a good winter. This is beautiful. I feel like I'm getting a big taste of all the seasons right in one go. It's been a long time since we've gotten snow and cold like this in December. We've gotten, you know, like a cold 3 or 4 days in November, but December, for some odd reason, lately has always been warm. But not this year. Granted, temperatures are actually going to be getting warmer. We're going to take the red, hook it to the black. I kid. I don't expect this to really take a lot of power. It's only 6 volt battery. Pushing it doesn't do anything, unless it's one of those stupid things that auto detects. I hope it's not that. Alright, I gotta figure this out. I'm gonna do that standing. Alright, so apparently universal method of just unplugging something and plugging it back in worked. So now it's charging. It's running correctly on a 6-volt mode, charging. So that's done. So we'll just put all this safe and sound back in the box. Done. Perfect. We'll just leave that there for now. Look at that. There's like random spots of wind that's coming in hot and heavy, but honestly, it's not bad right now. That doesn't mean that it's not going to stay this way. You know, it could get kind of crazy. I really don't know. We shall see how the day goes, but for now, that job's done. Check 1. Now let's go get some hay at the top of the hill. It's gonna be cold up there. 2 bales acquired. I gotta tell you guys, I am definitely dressed appropriately for today. The wind was whipping up there. I'm not cold at all. New gloves are pretty awesome, and wearing those base layers makes a world of a difference. That being said, the camera is definitely cold because it's doing what it was doing that Saturday. So we're gonna put the camera in my jacket, warm it up. All right, back up in the barn. All these horses, they want to go out. None of them are cold, so let's get them out into the pasture. There we go. We have all the horses out. They all went down to start eating hay and enjoying the day. We just have one more group to let out, and that's the donkeys. Hey, Buster. Hey, Rocky. Yeah, you guys, we're gonna take you over this way. Then they go and they clean up whatever's left from honey, and then they walk around and then they clean out that feeder, and then they go up here and take a look around in the lower ring, and they love to run around up there. Since it's windy, I don't want areas for wind flying through, so we're gonna close all the windows so they want to be out of the rain, out of the wind. They are. There he is, Buster. I love seeing him up here so much. All right, next on our list, we're gonna head over to the cow pasture and we're gonna get our flatbed wagon and we're gonna use the truck. Then we're gonna bring the wagon over here, and Ryan wants the racks put same place where the green ones are there. And then we'll have a second flatbed wagon, and that'll be what's used for hauling our big load of lumber down to the hay barn. We're gonna use my tractor to pick up the load and put it on, at least I hope we're going to. Use the forklift for unloading this morning, but it's kind of really icy out, so it's hard for the forklift to get around. So the tractor maneuvers better. It's not a lot of boards, it's just long and awkward. So my tractor should be able to handle it. And then I'm hoping to use my truck to take it to the hay barn site, which maybe not is the smartest idea, but I need the truck down there anyway because it has all my tools. And it makes for good content if I get stuck. So it's kind of a win-win. And don't worry, I came prepared. I've got a thermos full of hot coffee. I should say half full of hot coffee. Well, let's go see how things look over in the cow pasture, huh? No doubt about it, the tractor will be able to go out into the pasture, get the wagon, bring it back. I've got no doubts about that. Truck, maybe, we'll see. At least I'm in a cab, I'm heated, and I would have to unhook the wagon and take the tractor back up and then take the truck back down. So I'm hoping to kill two birds with one stone, but you know, time will tell here. First leg of the journey is just seeing if we can get it out of the pasture. It's not deep snow by any means of the word. It's just, you know, if it's icy underneath the snow, depends on how much traction I got. This truck's four-wheel drive, and I do have a lot of tools in the bed of the truck, including that nice big generator. So I've got some weight back there that should help me get some traction, but let's see how it does going up this hill here. It's not even slipping. Oh, we're golden. I'm not really too worried about this side. It's the hill going up from the ponds to the hay barn, which you guys can see just over there. Yeah, that's gonna be the hill that's gonna be unique to see us getting up. Come on now, one-handed, we got this. There we go. I kind of cheated. I used the hand holding my camera to move the fence over on the one side. Well, welcome to the cow pasture, guys. For some of you that watch the Veggie Boys, you'll sometimes see this. But this is the direct opposite side of everything. So straight across the hollow over there is the horse stable, and of course the Veggie Boys main farm. And what you see, that giant clearing all to the right there, that's all horse pasture. That woods right there is where our Peter lives. And then right on over here is the cow pasture, stretching all the way over to here and goes up this way and this way. Go back before all of us were making videos and putting them on YouTube, all the equipment used to be stored inside the horse pasture, but not anymore. Now the cows have a nice big pasture, and so everything's stored inside the cow pasture. There's the old bale elevator, potato elevator, our old flour wagons, silage wagons, and here's the wagon we're getting right here, this beautiful red wagon. This hay season, we're gonna be using both flatbed wagons, including the smaller wagon that we were using with Gavin driving my truck, because we gotta get all the hay that we bale to the hay barn and under roof. So that's gonna be, oh man, I'm excited for next hay season. There's so much exciting things going on. Oh, I think I pulled a little close. Who needs a backup camera? Come on. I'm just joking. Those things are awesome. If you have one, I'm happy for you. That was easy. That went along very swimmingly. Now I just got to get these racks off. We're going to use my tractor to pick the whole thing off and then hopefully load. 11:20. So we might have this thing loaded, but more accurately, we'll probably have the racks off and then it'll be lunchtime. I'm gonna try to find a place out of the wind for the camera. You guys can just kind of see everything going on here. I think this is as good a place as any, honestly. My bad, I forgot to start the time lapse on this, but that came off easy. For lunch today, we are having some pork sausage. Go figure, every time I try to film what's going on at lunch, I don't have a battery that's fully charged. Anyway, you guys can see we've got a nice big snowfall coming down right now, and it's time to load up the lumber. So let's get this loaded and down to the build site. That I'll have a wagon ready for when the delivery driver gets here, so we can just take it right off the delivery truck and put it on the flatbed. But I never, for some reason, am able to line it up timing wise. Now for the treacherous part of the journey, off-roading. It'd be nice timing wise if everything lined up that we were able to get full floats delivered today, but these boards are so long we had to get them from a different place than the rest of the other ones. So don't worry, I'm going to fully tighten these, but not until I have all of them snug, because it's going to shift. Two down, one to go. Yep. Last one's always the one that wants to give you the most trouble. I'm actually doing this in the daylight. That means you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I gotta say it, that ain't going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. It's strapped down good back there. Wow, this wagon's hopping hard. Whew. Looks nice outside, doesn't it? You can see the snow drifts blowing across the road here. It's like January outside. You wouldn't think it's December. That's awesome. Here's our turn. Everything looks hooked nice and tight. Awesome. Okay. It's off-roading from here on out. All right, well, I've had no doubts about getting to this point where we're at the base, and right in front of us we've got the big hill. Now that is the point where I think if I'm gonna run into any problems, it's gonna be attempting to get up this hill, because the wind has not blown the snow off the frozen ground. We do have some rocks. The ground is not smooth here, and the hill does not feel icy as I'm walking it, but it's quite the hill. And I don't think my truck has the traction to get up this. If it does, I'll be impressed. If it doesn't, then you guys are gonna get to enjoy some footage of me getting stuck. Wow. Well, that's awesome. Sweet. Should be smooth sailing from here. Believe it or not, that's where I'm parking that wagon for now. We got to do some shuffling around in here. This wagon, I have to pull forward and then kind of maneuver it over to the side here. And then that wagon will pull in here and put it on that side so that when the truss is made, it can flip up and over on the other side. But we also have to find a place to put this lumber down here. And for now, I'm just gonna park the wagon right here because I'm not unloading this today. I just needed this wagon and this lumber down here today. Let's go see how our generator's doing on charging our fencer. I don't hear anything, so I think our generator died. Looks like it did. Well, it stalled because I didn't have it in the on position. Whoopsies. Here I am thinking this thing's been charging the whole time. Yeah, okay. So that turned off on me. That's a bit of a bummer. I forgot to turn that little thing on top for it to get air and it choked itself out. Oh well. All right, now we've got the truck on the other side over here. Got the tailgate open. Now it's time to start running the saw for a few hours and cut some more truss boards. Well, the truck's acting as a pretty good windbreaker, so hopefully we'll get some nice footage, guys. If not, we might have to switch things over to a time lapse. It's easier on the batteries on the camera. First board. I'm actually warm, believe it or not, right now. I may have to take one of my jackets off because you don't want to be sweating. That's a big number. Temperature right now is 28 with a real feel of 20. And I'm warm. I'm gonna try cutting two at once. Ended up getting 43 boards all set and ready. If you subtract the 15 that we did yesterday, that means that we got 28 done today, which is pretty great. And those are fully cut. The only thing that's kind of funny about the whole thing, something that I find kind of humorous, is that I need 51, but that's one board of what we need to make a truss. So we've been working so far on this one board right here, this guy. You can see all the markings on him. And this board is pretty warped, so I put this one inside our template to train it flush. So that's gonna straighten that board out nice and good. Temperature is 30 degrees. Temperature actually went up, but the wind chill keeps it at 21 right now, real feel. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm doing well. Hands aren't numb, everything's fine. I'm actually just cooking along swimmingly. Where we have the generator hooked back up to the charger, we're gonna let that charge while we feed horses for the afternoon. And then once we're done for the day, we will come down and we will hook the fencer back up, put the generator away. Tomorrow, we are going to be mainly focusing on cutting our truss boards. That is exciting. I am excited about that. We'll get some more done. We got all our 10-footers that are here cut. So that's it for that left diagonal for now. We're gonna be moving over to other sections, but that's for another video and another time. Let's get on over to the horse stable now and get the horses in and fed. We're gonna be letting in the big field. it's always nice when the clients show up and help with feeding. Everything went spectacular. Everyone helped out, so we got them in quick, which is nice. So, all the horses look great. I didn't see any hanging straps. The donkeys are loving being in the lower arena, and I'm loving that too. They're getting a little bit more of that personal touch, which makes me happy. So next up, we're gonna head on down and we gotta hook up that fencer and let's flip it on and see how it looks. Always good when you go up to the generator and everything's green. That flashing green light means it is still charging, but that is gonna be it for tonight. We'll unplug that. You did good, generator. I like that little thing. It's nice that we have the big one for obvious reasons, but I really like this little guy. It really comes in handy. You know, I know some people probably aren't really too happy that it's gotten quite cold this December, but for us, it's been nice. We have no mud this season. We had, I think, 3 days of it. That was it, and then everything froze. It means the horses are doing really well in regards to hoof issues or any problems like that, which I don't even need to explain why that's awesome. But not to mention, it's really good for the ground. You know, you don't have all this moisture creating all these problems everywhere. Instead, everything's frozen, everything's good, and that is what you want. So it's a bit of a shame that we got a warm up coming here. I recognize it's gonna be probably welcome relief for a lot of us, including, you know, working on the barn. There's some upsides to the warmer weather, but there's a lot of downsides too, including but not limited to the fact that there's gonna be so much mud down here. So much mud. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But you take what you get. Make sure we got a good tight contact on these. Tight. All right, let's fire it up. Oh yeah. Perfect. We will probably hook the solar charger back up to the battery and we'll keep it until that charger says that that battery's fully charged. And then it should be good for the winter. I think the only reason we needed to charge this up was because it wasn't fully charged when we got it. We needed it right into production immediately to keep this area secure. And so, but I think we're gonna be good now. So, awesome. All right, guys, that's just about it. All I gotta do is turn out the horses for the evening. But before we conclude the video, let's do some questions of the day. So let's take a look here. Let's use our new lumber as a nice table here. All right, we're gonna be answering questions from the video. Fresh rain tests our stables. Got a question from Roxy Blair 8861. By the way, no question is a dumb question. It says, when bad weather hits, if you have not had the chance yet to get the horses back in the barn, do they ever just come up and want to come in? Of course, if the gates are closed, they can't get in, but maybe this would be telling you, hey, let us in. That's an excellent question. And yes, they do. If bad weather hits and they decide they do not want to be out in the pastures anymore, they do come up to the stable and say, hey, let us in. Usually, we are ahead of the horses. We keep a very close watch on the forecast. Many times what happens is the horses are on their way up to the barn when we have the barn prepped and ready for them and we're opening it up to let them in. And that includes 3 o'clock in the morning. We have had moments where the weather has been so bad, we changed our original decision where maybe we were planning on keeping them out. The weather changed and got way worse than we expected and was forecast, so then we let them in. So that does happen. That's why we always make sure that the stable is really well lit. And another huge benefit is the security cameras. We're able to remotely see what's going on at the stable on all entrances. So we can see how the horses are doing and faring with the weather. And if they're coming in, it tells us they want to come in, and we don't deny them that. We get them in immediately. So good question. Another question from Maple Ranch. The horse's neck and head are exposed when it's raining. Aren't they wet? Yeah. As a matter of fact, the blankets are there to keep the horses warm. The horses do an amazing job of making a lot of body heat. The blankets do the best, similar to what I'm wearing right now. In fact, you can kind of use us as an example. My head fully exposed, ears exposed, neck exposed, hands exposed. All of that's exposed, but my jacket is keeping my core warm. And horses have a nice, really good natural blanket on top of them already. The blankets are only there to help horses that are domesticated. Domesticated horses sometimes need a little help, especially if they were, the second they were born, they got a blanket on them, then they never really grow a nice thick winter coat. But wild horses, whoo, this weather that we're experiencing right now, they don't need a blanket for, by any means. Their coat is so thick, it will keep them dry, it will keep them warm. Even if it's snowing, raining, wind blowing, they're really incredible animals. It's something I admire very much about them. But for our domesticated horses, we use the big blankets. And if it's too much rain that's coming in, that's when we'll keep them in, especially in cold weather. Hey guys, you are awesome. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you haven't, you know what to do. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.